We're totally different people now, and we're the same. And we have the same love. 100%, like I'd never fallen out of love with you. I had just...
You don't want to write yourself off.
Right.
You know, and if you're going to hide the fact that you've listen, a lot of people didn't get to 50.
Right.
A lot of people didn't make it, so celebrate for them. That's what I try.
It all started so sweet. Jennifer Lopez walked onto the set of The View flashing that $1 million smile, expecting the usual glam. A few claps, maybe some soft questions about her new project, her kids, nothing too deep. But honey, what she got was pure fire. You could feel the energy shift the second she opened her mouth. J-Lo was trying to talk all serious, opening up about emotional wellness and motherhood, trying to give the audience that I'm still just like you energy. But across the table, Whoopi Goldberg's whole vibe changed. Her smile vanished. That woman went from co-host to cold front in seconds. Then she struck.
Imagine, you think, oh, like this is gonna solve everything.
Right.
And it doesn't. It gives them a whole different set of issues that they have to work out. And, you know, it's just about, I just think that life is kind of beautiful that way and that it balances out for everybody. And everybody has their struggles and everybody has their journey to walk. And you think it's gonna be one thing and it's another thing and it has twists and turns. And all you can do is like, love each other through it.
J-Lo was barely into her story when Whoopi cut her off. Just like that. No warning, no easing into it. She narrowed her eyes and went straight for the jugular. Yeah, but it's not the same struggle when you've got 5 nannies and 2 assistants. Chills. You could hear the studio drop into dead silence. J-Lo looked stunned. She blinked like she'd just been slapped with a frozen fish. Her posture slipped just a little, and the whole room could feel it. This was no regular talk show moment. This was personal. But Whoopi, she wasn't done. She threw in another dagger. You talk about heartache like you just discovered it, but girl, most of us been surviving that since paycheck number 1. I mean, that was brutal. Jennifer tried to hang in there, voice trembling just enough to expose the crack. I've been through pain. Money doesn't protect you from betrayal. But baby, the damage was already done. Whoopi didn't just challenge her. She dismantled her, live and raw, in front of everyone. And just when you thought that was the climax, oh no, it got worse.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was more surprised than us.
Yeah. No, but it is. No, seriously though. I mean, that's just, would you ever have imagined that it comes full circle, it ends up like this?
No, you never could imagine something like that could happen.
I'm happy.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're happy.
Backstage, that's where the storm really hit. Sources say the second the cameras cut to commercial, J-Lo stormed off, like actual drama stormed. One producer even said security had to step in. It got that heated. There was shouting, doors slamming, someone threw off their earpiece and walked out mid-fight. And guess what? Jennifer didn't come back. No goodbye, no final segment, nothing. And here's where the whispers start. Did J-Lo walk out on her own, or did they push her? One insider from the crew says producers were already walking a tightrope over falling ratings and wanted a viral moment. So bringing J-Lo on, right after the messy headlines with Ben Affleck, that was no coincidence. It was a trap, and they knew it. Another source took it further, saying J-Lo was set up from the second she walked into the green room. Her talking points, allegedly rewritten the night before. She thought she was there to discuss Latina representation in Hollywood, not to get ambushed over Ben and her personal life. And everyone saw it. Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin totally backed away when it all went down. Whoopi was allowed to go full throttle, and the others just let her. One producer reportedly even called it a planned ambush behind closed doors. So if you're thinking this was just a random outburst, think again. Behind the scenes, there's talk that Jennifer signed an NDA after the meltdown. Yup, a non-disclosure agreement, which just adds to the drama, because if nothing happened, why silence her? And now it gets juicy. A former assistant producer, recently laid off, has come forward saying network execs were pressuring The View's leadership to crank up the ratings or face a total lineup shakeup before fall. And guess who they saw as low-hanging fruit? J-Lo. Between the Affleck divorce rumors, her underperforming album, and all the cryptic Instagram activity, she was already trending. All they had to do was nudge her over the edge. Let's not forget, just weeks before this showdown, Whoopi had actually defended Bennifer. She was pro J-Lo. She even gave the public brunch outings with Ben her blessing. So what changed?
With rumors of divorce swirling, you wouldn't think now would be the best time to post a breakup song to Instagram. But that's not stopping Jennifer Lopez.
That's the million-dollar question. Did Whoopi flip because she was told to? Some say she was given the green light to let loose. One guest in the green room swears she saw it all coming. Whoopi didn't lose her patience, she said. She smelled blood. Now sure, The View is known for its spicy takes. But this moment? It wasn't just fiery, it was raw. It hit when J-Lo was already breaking. Her rekindled fairy tale with Ben? It's unraveling. Mansions sold, separate lives, and silent brunches. You could practically feel her trying to hold it together. So did she walk into a trap designed to make her snap? Some insiders believe so. There's even talk the producers re-edited the segments leading up to J-Lo's interview, inserting romantic flashbacks with Ben just to stoke the flames before the big takedown. And remember that moment when Whoopi literally put her head down on the table during a past Jennifer segment? That wasn't boredom, that was contempt. So now she suddenly cares enough to go for the jugular? Please, maybe this wasn't just about J-Lo. Maybe it was Whoopi sending a message to all celebrities who come on her show with a highlight reel of their struggles while living in mansions with private chef.
There's a story that I'm surprised that I am as interested in as I am. This is the rumor, now months-long rumors, of a divorce between Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
But here's where things get really messy. Several past guests are quietly saying they've noticed a pattern too, being pushed emotionally, encouraged to go deep. Now they're wondering if they were also part of a script they never saw. After the show aired, Jennifer's team went into total crisis mode. Media appearances canceled, a fragrance promo shoot rescheduled, her Instagram radio silence. Some even say she thought about canceling her entire fall press tour until her team warned her that disappearing would look like defeat. But the real question is this: why did Whoopi seem so ready to pounce?
Hey, baby. You know, I always have to mention the other Lopez woman who I love.
Maybe the real story here isn't even about Jennifer Lopez, it's about Whoopi Goldberg. Let's not act like this was her first on-air shutdown. She's made headlines before, cutting off Meghan McCain with a savage "girl please," walking off mid-show when the Jennifer saga came up. She's been done with this Hollywood circus for a while. So when Jennifer, fresh off a boat in Positano, came in with designer heels and talk about emotional growth, maybe Whoopi saw red. One studio staffer put it bluntly: she respects hustle. She does not respect someone floating in here acting like their pain is more authentic than everyone else's. And honestly, it's not a stretch to think Whoopi's takedown came from somewhere deeper. For years, she's played by her own rules, walking red carpets only when she has to, rocking sneakers at award shows, and side-eyeing half the Hollywood elite like she's allergic to them. She's famous, sure, but she's never wanted to be part of that curated image machine. Now, place that next to Jennifer Lopez, who's practically built a career on being perfectly put together at all times. Sequins, luxury, aspirational vibes, social media filters, choreographed vulnerability, all of it. It's her brand. But maybe that's exactly what rubbed Whoopi the wrong way. Because when J-Lo came onto that stage, all polished and poised, talking about struggles, you could see Whoopi's tolerance meter hit zero. The contrast between them was like fire and ice, and that's where it boiled over. It wasn't just a clapback, it was a cultural clash.
And people started saying it anyway. You know, you might as well just say it because somebody else is going to bust you, so you might as well say yeah.
But you know, I noticed something when we were on tour is that it did something. You know, I did it because I thought it'd be a fun way to celebrate such a big birthday, but it wound up doing something else. It put it out there for everybody that's like, this is nothing like to be ashamed of.
J-Lo represents the dream, the filtered fantasy, the idea that you can have it all: love, success, money, glam, and still be the girl from the Bronx who cries in the shower. But to someone like Whoopi, that version of pain doesn't hit the same, because Whoopi's been through it raw. No fluff, no filters, she clawed her way to the top, no nannies, no glam squad, no team scrubbing every crack of vulnerability from her public image. And maybe, just maybe, she's tired of watching celebrities walk in with crocodile tears while sipping on cucumber water from their glam team. So yeah, her line about J-Lo having 25 bathrooms and a private chef might have sounded harsh, but maybe it wasn't just shade. Maybe it was a reflection of something a lot of people feel, but never say out loud. That resentment? It's real. And Jennifer? She's been a lightning rod for it for years. Too rich, too perfect, too thirsty, too many weddings, too many selfies, too much. She tries to show emotion, and people call it fake. She hides, and they say she's arrogant. She speaks, and suddenly she's playing the victim. Can she win? Apparently not. Because the moment Whoopi tore into her, the internet didn't pause to reflect. Oh no, it pounced. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, they all exploded with reaction clips, rewinds, slow-mos, think pieces, memes. Everyone had a theory, everyone had a hot take. Some people cheered, others winced. But one thing was clear: J-Lo had just been thrown into the gladiator pit of public opinion. Again.
One thing that you really learned?
One?
Well, what the best, the most important?
That I learned?
That you learned.
It's probably been the journey of like becoming whole on my own.
Right.
I always thought that I was gonna find happiness and love out. Another person was gonna give that to me. And then I realized that that's not how it is at all. Like, you actually get to be happy all by yourself.
And let's be real. This isn't the first time The View has turned into a battleground. We've seen Barbara Walters get shady. We've seen guests storm off, chairs spin, tempers flare. This isn't new. But this felt different. This wasn't just heated debate. It was calculated annihilation. And it raises one huge question. How much of what we see on these shows is real? And how much is designed? Because when guests like J-Lo walk into the studio, are they truly there for an honest convo? Or are they stepping into a trap already built around them, with producers pulling the strings? One former producer didn't mince words. We knew exactly what we were doing. We baited her. And that brings us right back to the silence. Because after all that drama, The View didn't say a thing. No apology, no thank you post, no awkward tweet, nothing. Just total calculated silence. And that silence says everything. Because if they had nothing to hide, wouldn't they have addressed it? Wouldn't anyone have posted a "Thanks J-Lo for stopping by"? Instead, they ghosted. That's not a coincidence. That's strategy. And it makes you wonder, was the whole thing engineered to crash? Because if that's the case, it worked.
Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. After months of speculation, the pair are calling it quits. The singer filing for divorce after 2 years of marriage exactly.
So now we're left asking the bigger questions, the ones no one at the network seems willing to answer. Was this a career-defining blow to Whoopi's image, or just another example of her untouchable status? Is Jennifer Lopez spiraling, or finally showing cracks in that perfect image she spent 20 years protecting? And bigger than that, are we watching a feud, or are we watching the entire machine manipulate us for views? One thing's for sure, the producers didn't expect this fallout to spread this fast. They wanted a spicy headline, but they got a wildfire. And now, even if J-Lo stays silent and Whoopi shrugs it off, the audience isn't forgetting. Because whether you're Team J-Lo, Team Whoopi, or Team what the hell did I just watch, we all saw what happened. We saw the trap, we saw the silence, and we saw a woman humiliated on live television, whether she deserved it or not. And the worst part? It might not be over. There are whispers that another explosive guest segment might already be in the works. Producers are reportedly chasing another big name with baggage and someone they think can bring even more attention, because once they taste that kind of viral buzz, they want more. And J-Lo, she was just the first domino to fall. So what now? Will Jennifer reclaim her image and clap back with her own side of the story? Or will she retreat into silence while the internet does all the talking? And what about Whoopi? Will she double down? Will she pretend nothing happened? Or will the pressure finally catch up? One thing's certain, this wasn't just a clash of egos, it was a collision between two versions of Hollywood, the polished, glossy illusion, and the gritty, unfiltered truth. And when those two worlds crash, it's never clean. So where do we go from here? Because while Jennifer Lopez might have walked off that stage in silence, the noise hasn't stopped. And it's not just headlines or clips floating around, it's questions, real ones, hard ones. So what's next? Will J-Lo tell her side? Will Whoopi face any fallout? Will The View finally speak up? Or will the silence continue? Because silence sells. Whatever happens, this story isn't over, not by a long shot. Because in a world where everything's curated, packaged, and polished, sometimes it takes one unscripted explosion to remind us what real looks like. And whether it was a takedown, or a setup, or something in between, one thing is certain, we'll be watching. We always are.